And I also am gonna look for excuses to just do some fun things on the channel. If I can get back to some Zero Ranger at some point, that'd be really cool. Shout outs to everyone who played some Tetris 99 as well. We had a really fun time doing that. That game is just Tetris is just fucking perfect. It's just perfect. There's nothing else to it. Um, and
I like Tetris, but I think I like how much you like Tetris more than I like Tetris.
Fair enough. It's great. It's so much fun. I don't know.
Like listening to you talk about Tetris, I always think of, why don't I like Tetris that much?
Dude, like they got it right like 30 years ago. And we've just been enjoying how right they got it for my entire life. That's it. It's just they nailed it, and now here it is, and it'll always be good. Done. You know? Yeah, I also I guess I left a little teaser for everyone at the end of the birthday stream as well, because I just decided on a whim what the next LP I think I wanted to crack open was, and it wasn't anything on my list for a long time, but it was something that just occurred to me out of nowhere. So if you caught it, that's cool. 50 years ago, 40 years ago, god damn, Jesus Christ. I try to underplay the time frame so that I can feel better about the fact that I am now 36. But
I feel like every couple of weeks there's like a part where somebody calls something retro, and I'm like, that's not retro. That was only about 5, and by 5 I mean 25 years ago.
Yeah.
If it came out before you could legally drink, that qualifies as retro, right? Well, the fucking Dreamcast came out in 99.
Yeah, I just when it came out before I was born, I kind of just I want to say 30 because it still makes me feel like there's hope even though there isn't.
So like it's wild because like we are in a very specific time period for that, because our primary like hobby of electronic choice is a video game. Because when we were born, the Atari had just come out like a year or two prior, right? So when we became able to think with brains, the Atari was the old one and the Nintendo was the new one, and we got to be there for nearly all of it. So, of course, everyone's all of it. And then I see people be like, my first console as a kid was the Xbox 360, and I want to put a gun in my mouth.
What I want to ask some of them Zoomers about actually is like what it's like coming out. Like we've also been there for the birth of and the entire genesis of the internet. To the state it's in now. I want to ask. I want to know what it's like from a Zoomer perspective, like joining the internet midway through. Like how much, like everything, all kinds of memes, all kinds of jokes, all make sense in my brain because I was there from the beginning. So I saw the comedy go.
You saw the meme progression.
Exactly. So there's no lapse or gaps to like how it feels to me.
There's no lapse in the meme fossil record for you.
But for those of you who joined in where the first memes they saw were lolcats, which to me, lolcats are deep in the meme timeline.
Decade in.
Right? But your first memes were lolcats. Like, what's it like to have infinite amounts of internet behind you that you'll never like know about or really go back to? GeoCities was dead before you even got online.
I think my story about this is like perfectly summing it up. Just oh shit. Excuse me, my cat almost knocked over my drink. Bye, Elmo. Of like the difference in the era, where the first time that I encountered what we now know as to be a meme was when a kid in my class used the computer in the grade 6 classroom to watch a video, and it was the All Your Bass music cut in which it just all your base photoshops with the thing.
All your
And
base.
I'm sitting there
Base.
in grade
Base.
6
All your base.
going, how did they get the all words all your base onto all this stuff? That's crazy. Because I didn't know what Photoshop was because I was literally a child.
Right. Right. I guess, I mean, I would have to assume it's like when I was growing up, I would always hear about bands I didn't know that were legendary and films I'd never seen that were, you know, staples of the genre, right? Or staples of the time of modern filmmaking. And I was always like, yeah, I get the references to these things because they're constant, you know? And like most things like The Simpsons are going to reference these bands and The Simpsons are going to make jokes about these movies that I've never seen.
Right.
But I guess I'm going to understand the idea of what they were about at some point or whatever. And then it was right when I was in college where I basically went, all right, I've decided I'm now going to start looking back and finding out for myself. And I went to that video store that used to be down by the Faubourg that's not there anymore.
Well, it got killed for being English.
No, I think it just, like, the whole thing moved down a lot. But Movie Land was this, there's this movie store that was like kind of indie that was around. And anyway, they just had a lot of classics. And I just got on this kick of like, I'm going to go rent old ass movies and watch them to find out what the big deal was.
There's some good old ass movies out there.
I sure fucking got some.
Did you know that people were able to make good things before you?
It was wild, right? I couldn't believe it, but that was, you know, my first Kurosawa stuff, my first checking out like fucking list, like things I'd never ever get to for any reason. Your Casablancas and your fucking Raging Bull or a bunch of Jim Jarmusch movies, you know, all the weird stuff Bill Murray was up to.
Yeah.
You know, like I just went down this kick of like, yeah, let me just go watch old movies that I'd never watched. You know,
it's funny that you mentioned
what's with Rosebud.
What's with Rosebud? Oh yeah, it's funny that you mentioned this because like I'm on the other end of the old shit, and like I had a bizarre moment, like a Bernstein Bear moment in my own mind, in which I was talking to. I had just become a Viera in 14, and I was saying in a silly voice like, "I'm gonna kiss every boy." I'm like, "Ha ha ha!" Where do I remember that from? Oh, that somebody must have used to say that to me back when, because that's a funny thing. And then a friend of mine was like, "Dude, that's Strong Bad. You're thinking of Teen Girl Squad."
Oh,
and I'm like, I am fucking thinking of Teen Girl Squad.
Yeah.
I am, but that was like 26 years ago. It's been so long ago that I remember the joke and the tone,
but not the source itself.
It was so nebulous that it's become like, oh, someone must have said that to me, I guess.
So I guess I just like I spent some time renting like about 3 movies a week of just old shit to just find out what I was missing out on. And I have to wonder if like, do you do that with the internet? Do you go back to like archive.org and start just like looking through the past?
Because the internet is like wrestling.
It's made for whoever jumps on at the time they jump on.
You're going to go back and find out what the start of the storyline is? There was no start of the storyline.
Right. But if it were me and I saw the Space Jam website for the first time and I didn't get the joke, I would be really confused and want to know what the joke is. Right? Why is this website like this?
The joke is people don't know how to make websites.
Yeah. Like they literally just put up the Chrono Cross like cross promotion with the mobile game website, and it's made to look like a 2000s website with a guest book and little gifs and everything. And it's fun. It's cute. It's a fun little old website. But if I was born in a time frame where that joke made no sense to me, I would feel like I'd have to go back and start figuring it out at some point. I'd just be like, okay, enough of this. What am I missing here? You know, to which you can spend just as much time as you have been going forward in the present, going backwards to the past to figure out where memes came from. The old blood. It's thick. It involves installing Flash.
People used to laugh at this stuff.
Stick figures. They're fighting.
They're fighting. It's crazy.
Before Devil May Cry.
There was Xiao Xiao 3.
Yeah, specifically 3.
3 was the best one.
He goes through the whole fucking warehouse and he switches weapons and he does quick style switches too. It was great.
I thought I was having a brain aneurysm the other day when a friend of mine was streaming a game he was playing in Discord. I'm like, what's this? And he's like, oh, it just came out. It's an early access or whatever. And I load it up, and it's a Madness Combat game.
Madness Combat.
I'll show you a photo, and you'll go, oh, that thing.
Madness Combat.
Here's fucking Madness Combat for you. Madness Combat 1. Watch 3 seconds. You'll remember.
Madness Combat. Okay. Combat 1. No, I didn't watch this.
Oh, you dodged this one? That was super popular on
I didn't
Newgrounds.
see this. I didn't see this at
That was
all.
highly Newgrounds.
So just a Newgrounds beat 'em up?
Yeah, this is from like 2001.
Okay. Yeah. That's anyway, all that to say that joining the game midstream, you know, joining the movie in the middle of its run, I'd want at some point just stop and go back to figure it out. But anyway, that was a huge tangent off of what was I talking about? Oh yeah, memes. Yes. So anyway, as soon as we get a gap in the schedule, I've decided that I'm going to go fucking left field on this shit, and the next LP I'm gonna play is Final Fantasy VI because I've never played it. Yeah. That's happening.
Never?
No.
Hey, Paige! Woolie's gonna play FF6 because he never done played it! Yeah! Yeah, you're gonna have a good time.
I hear it's as good as Chrono Trigger in a lot of ways. They get compared a lot. So let's find out.
That's the argument.
Yeah.
And it's the argument that I have a side on, and I don't care. Yeah, maybe. They're so good.
Okay. We'll find out.
It's the best one.
We will find out. I was just like, yeah, fuck it. Let's learn. Let's learn.
Are we all in agreement that out of Final Fantasy VI is the best one? I feel like that's like a general opinion. Like it's pretty good at least.
And I'm also looking forward to seeing where the osmosis stuff will catch up in context.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a couple of images in my head. Obviously.
Yeah, that you're like, oh, it's from 7 or 12 or no, it's from this.
Yeah, I have the Kefka clown shit through osmosis. I have a girl riding on top of a black walker mech in the snow. And then I think I had some character names, but I forget what they were. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's great, dude. Once you get through 6, then the only way for you to go is to hop on 14 with me.
That's the number.
It's 6
7 remake
20
6 14.
Yeah. There you go. Bam.
That's the trilogy.
It's like 1, 2, 3 right there.
Yeah. So
you ever play just for my own personal clarity's sake? What is your actual played not played on that series?
Final Fantasy?
For the main numbered.
I played 1 for about an hour.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common experience, actually.
um.
You didn't play 2 because it's trash.
Okay, so 1 for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
7, 8.
Yeah.
8 part of not the whole thing.
Right, not the whole thing. Yeah.
But not 9, 10, not 11.
I know you played 10. I seen it.
Yeah. Um. Not 12.
Okay, this is the answer. Okay, so yeah, 6 is real good. Can't go wrong.
And then 15. Up to pre, um, pre big city. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that 6 is a good one.
I hear.
6 is where like, how do I put this? 6 is where like the series' identity became like locked in stone. Like all the things that people think of when they think of Final Fantasy are present in that one in large quantities.
The American misnaming thing, like American 3.
Oh, it's shit.
And the Mystic Quest is not any of those, right?
No, Mystic Quest is actually Mana Games.
Okay. Completely different thing. Okay.
Completely different. They just named Final Fantasy out here.
So American 4, 5, 6, or rather American 1, 2, 3 were actually 4, 5, and 6.
No. Because that would be not confusing, right? All right. 1 is 1. No problem. Okay? They skipped 2. They skipped 3. 4 is American 2.
Oh, okay.
They skipped 5, and then they got 6, which they named American 3.
American 3. Okay. All right. That's what it was.
And then 7 came out.
Okay.
And friends of mine in elementary school thought the reason why it was called FF7 was Square saying that it was so much better than Final Fantasy 3 that they just skipped them.
That's hilarious.
Which is a really cool idea. That's a really cool idea.
It's so good. Yeah. The 360. It's that much bigger and that
like
much
the Bayonetta
better.
trailer comes out and it's just Bayonetta 5.
Yep. Man.
Also, the bummer to me is that 5 is my favorite. I love 5, and I played it like 15 years after it came out because it never came out in English until relatively recently.
Right. Like that logic makes so much sense when you're on an elementary schoolyard. Yeah, no, they skipped the number because it's that much better. Because that's what it is. You go up.
If you and that was combined with FF7 in the magazine. It was nearly exclusively photos of the CG cutscenes.
Of course.
So you were looking at your friend's Super Nintendo with FF6 on it, and then going, wow!
Yeah.
Like it was just absolutely mind blowing.
No, the commercial for FF7, which blew everyone away, was a lie because it was all just 100%
big
FMV.
Lie, huge lie.
But it worked. It did its job, you know. And then, fortunately, the game was good enough that people didn't mind the lie afterwards. They just knew that we had to show you the lie to get you here, and when you get here, it's not going to look anywhere near as good 90% of the time, but it's good enough that you'll care. But we're not going to show you a bunch of text boxes and goofy squats on chibi characters to get you to buy the game. So,
which is weird because nowadays, that is exactly what you would show people.
That's what that
to get them excited.
Aesthetic. Yeah.
You would go, we're bringing back the Popeye freaks, and everybody go, yeah.
Well, now you're playing off of nostalgia as opposed to creating new expectation, right? So,
yeah.